one stacker on a journey to find silver. International Stacker.
Hey, what's up guys? International Stacker here, and I'm going to do a quick review and tutorial of the Sigma Metalytics Pro verifier. And I did one of these before back in the past, but it was brand new. I didn't know that much about it, and the filming was bad for the screen. So now I'm gonna reshoot it. I've had this thing for I think close to a year, 6-8 months, a year. So now I know a lot more about it. So I'm gonna show you first what you're gonna get and what you need to get. And then I'm gonna quickly run you through some of the cool functions of this machine. I'll tell you what, in every video I post that I'm using this machine, I get a million questions about it. So hopefully this will help to answer a lot of those. So first thing I wanna show you is when you buy it, it comes in this nice case that I've used. You can take it traveling. It's you can see well-built case. It comes with an operations manual. They also have it online on their website. And it's rechargeable. It comes with a charging cable and just a standard USB charger. I think that actually says Samsung on there. So that's the case it comes in, which is nice. Now, when you buy it, you have the option to buy these wands with it. And by all means, I promise you, you will want these wands. Just get it with all the wands. It's a little bit more money, maybe $100, but if you already spend this kind of money, you need the wands. This helps you to look at really small pieces of gold smaller than this. And then this is a bullion wand. This is what you use for different types of bars. Now, they do have a bar attachment for this, which is one of these, and it's a lot higher and it can read through bars now. That's kind of new. So Sigma, if you're watching, you want to send me one, I'll take it and do a review on that. But otherwise, there's no way to check these bars under these sensors, which is why you have to have the wand if you don't get that attachment. It's pricey. It's about $400 for that extra attachment to do bars, but the wands work great, and I'll show you that. Really quick, the unit is really nice. Here, this is just dirt from all the constitutional silver. Usually if I take hot water, that stuff comes off pretty easy. This is the unit here, and this is an extra calibration piece of metal here that you use to recalibrate your sensor every once in a while. So let me run you guys through some of the functions of this thing, and yeah, let's just do it. So you power it on here. Let me select the screen, so thing there. Every time you start it, you have to hit calibrate. Not a big deal, just takes 15 seconds or so. I think I'm on a bar back there. There we go. So this is what it's gonna look like. Now, one of the first things you need to notice is these two things. There's space under them, and you never wanna push down on these, because if you push down on these, it can mess up the unit. You have to get it recalibrated and fixed. And also too, this comes with a plastic screen on this screen. The first thing I did was remove it, and then I was reading the directions that said, don't remove it because it's gonna protect your screen, because sometimes when you measure bars and stuff, you have to go like this and you could scratch your screen. So don't pull the epic fill like I did and do that. Also too, notice this is the Verifier Pro version, which is the newest. There's an older model out there, which is around $700. This one here is gonna be around $1,400 with the two wands, but it's well worth it. The new one, is meant to keep up with the increasing level of fakes out there, and you know, China's whipping out some great fakes. And I actually have some fakes here in this pile that we're gonna weed out. So anyways, if you click on metals here, you're gonna see, you go left and right, you can do gold, all the way from pure down to 90%. You could do silver, quite on the set. And then you could do platinum, palladium, rhodium, copper. That's for the calibrator wafer underneath. And then rhodium PAMP. And then if you go to the very end, it's got certain common, different common coins in here that you can run through. So like if I pop on the 80% Canadian, we can take some of these Canadian silver dollars and put them under there and check them. Now, one more thing you wanna see right here, the weight. So you can change the weight of these things, and you need to. And actually, I'm not sure how much weight. I'm just gonna do 7734 because that's the weight of a Morgan, the silver weight. This is 80% versus 90. It's off, but anyways. So you see there, because this is 80%, if this thing actually weighed 0.773, it actually tells you how much precious metals are in there. Now the weight does not matter if you don't go to the final check. And let me show you what I mean. So we're gonna put this under there, and it's gonna show that it's checking good. Anything in the green is good. Anything in the yellow means it's good, but you should do an extra level check on it. And anything in red means danger, probably fake, or you have it on the wrong setting. So let me show you an example of that. So let's take something I actually off the top of my head know the weights and everything on. We're gonna select pure silver here. And we're gonna grab one of these silver rounds. Now another cool thing about this thing, and this is actually a silver coin. So that's a Queen's Beast, whoops. So that's a Queen's Beast, and we know it's 2 ounces, okay? So we're gonna change that to 2 ounces. Bam, bam, 2. And since it's pure, it tells us it should be 2 ounces. So the cool thing about this is this machine will actually read through capsules. It will read through graded coins. It will read through gold on the cards. It's gonna read through this packaging as long as it will fit under this. If it's too big, it won't fit. So we're gonna put that under there, and you're gonna see it showing its green. Now, this is the first check. This is the second check. So it's basically acting almost like a metal detector and signaling a signal through the coin. And it tells us right here what the thickness should be, the diameter, and you see it changes, the sample area, square millimeters. Now, say this wasn't checking well, or if it was yellow or red and we're like, then you can go to the final check here, which is the measurement. You're gonna select if it's rectangular or round. This is round, okay? Now what happens is with the coin, you need it to gently kiss each of these lines. It should be touching each line. Now it's kind of hard when they're in a capsule, but when they're a regular coin, it's much easier. So see, that shows it's real. When something's fake, it's usually gonna be way over or way under. So for instance, let me show you guys. So let's just do one of these rounds. This is a Norfed round. Cool history behind this. I'm gonna do a video on this still. I'm gonna do a video on it. Anyways, so we're gonna put this under. So it's telling us it's in the yellow because it is pure silver, but there's issues because we have it set to 2 ounces. So if we go to measure this and put round, look. So you can see there we had this set as 2 ounces, and it was tested as pure silver, but the sample size didn't seem large enough, so it alerted us to that. And now you can obviously see that is not 2 ounces. For this sample to have been 2 ounces, it would have had to be that big. Make sense? Let's make sure I chose. Okay, let's put that back on. I just want to make sure I chose the round. And then, yeah, I did. And then you see there's different things that are gonna pop up and give you warnings. It might say too small, too big. So let's check 1 second here. Okay, here we go. We got a 10 ouncer here. Will it fit? I don't even. So see, it's saying that that's silver, but the measurement's gonna be way off. So what we're actually gonna wanna do here is we're gonna change the weight on this to 10 ounces. That's funny, I usually don't check the huge things on here like that. Okay, so it's saying it's good. If we want to measure it, we say it's round. Bam. See, it should gently kiss each of the lines. Cool. So I've got some fake Morgan silver dollars here. Out of all these, 2 are fake. So I'm going to show you one, how quickly you can run through the samples. And then I'm going to show you 2, the difference when you really find a fake. So we're on silver. We're going to go down to, oh man. So here's the other thing. You have to either do pre-1900 or 1900 or 1945. So let me just separate these real quick. Okay, so here we go. So we're going first with pre, because these are all in the 1800s. And you can see weight we need to fix. So we come here to weight, and we're going to change that to 0.7734. Now remember, you don't technically have to set the weight with each coin. You'll know if it's pure or not. You'll know if it's silver, but if you're going to measure it or anything, then you're going to need to know. And if you see we set 7734 there, which is the silver weight, and it put it lower, so that's actually wrong. So we actually had to set the 7734 in this one because it's 90%. I hope that makes sense to you. See? So that should be the weight. All right, now let's go back here. And if you want to be 100% accurate with the weight, guys, you'd want to weigh each one of these, and then you could be down to the millimeter. But for this, For the way I use it, I mean, that type of detail and granularity is not really that necessary. So watch, here we go. Bang, yellow, I'm happy. Uh-oh. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what a fake looks like. So we're gonna put that to the side. We're gonna take a closer look at that. And you see, it takes a little bit to do it, to get in. And see, it'll tell you if the readings are differ more than 10%. See how it pops up momentarily here, but then it goes away once it gets the sample. It takes a couple seconds to get that sample. So what I wanna try to do, and I haven't tried this is the same weight, or the same size as one of these. So let's see what happens with the measurement. Now see, this would never make it to the measurement phase because it was way off, but I'm gonna measure it and see what happens. So here's the good one. So here's an example, and you see it gently kisses each side, so that's a good one. But let's see what the fake one would look like if we tried to measure it. Now notice it's saying red and it's saying it's too thin. So this is saying it's 234 millimeters thick. What was this one? 2.29, 37.93 diameter, 37.57. So it's pretty close on. Let's see what happens if we measure this though. So look, it is off. It is off, but just barely. So this fake did a good job with the measurement, but with this thing, you got 3 levels of check, so one of them is always gonna be wonky. And right off the bat, these arrows are pointing off the side, so we know right there it's fake. We wouldn't even need to go further. And this thing will tell you if the sample's too thin, too thick, all these different things. Really cool. So there's the first fake we found. Now let's change this to 1900, 1945. And again, I'm still not an expert with this thing, but I've learned how to use it pretty efficiently. So like that's in the yellow. If we were worried about that, we could just hit measure around. Gently, yep, see? And you see that other one? There was just a little bit of a space. This one is gently kissing both lines, okay? So we know that one's good. One of these is gonna be fake, and there you go. See how obvious that is? So this one's gonna be real. This one's gonna be real. And there's the faker. So you can see it's quite obvious. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Let's check maybe some gold, and let's use a wand. So you can see this bar cannot fit under. So that's where this bullion wand comes in handy. Unless you want to pay 400 bucks for that extension, this one works great. But notice, without the wand, we have this 2 levels of checking. Once you plug this wand in, you need to calibrate it. But once you switch to a wand, this is what happens. Only one of these checks is going to be available, okay? So the difference between the old version of the Verifier and this version is it has this extra 2-step check. Before, it was only one of these. So once you put that down, you see it defaults to the previous check. So it only is going to check this. But if you're using these sensors, it does 1, 2, and 3. So eventually I am going to want to get the add-on for the bars because that's going to be able to do all 3 checks on it. But for now, the bullion wand, I'm only down to 1 check. Now with this version of the Pro, it actually penetrates the bars deeper than the last version, okay? So this, even if you're just using the wand, is gonna be more accurate than the last version. Now what happened? I put that on there and it said it's not correct. Well, that's because this thing is set to 0.7734 and at 90%. So we're gonna change this. So if it's a test fake, guys, the first thing you wanna do is check your settings, make sure you're on the right thing, obviously, right? And then we're gonna change this to 10 ounces. Because this is a very cool Scottsdale silver bar. I'll let you all see that while I'm changing this. I love these bars big time. Oh, I'm sorry, 20 ounce. 20 ounces, there we go. The reason I flip this over is because with the wand, it doesn't always get a good reading if you're on these different indentions and stuff. It really needs like a solid surface. So you can see there, it came down significantly. It's in the yellow, so I'm happy with that. And this thing is actually a little bit off the edge on both sides. So if it was like a full bar, it'd be even a better reading. But with the yellow, I'm happy with that. And notice we cannot measure it because we're only using the wand. So now let me show you this bar, US Assay, and I love this because it's a strategic stockpile. I'm planning to make a video on that as well. This has a lot of writing on it, so a good connection might not be that easy. And actually, let's change this to 10 ounces here. Okay, but I'm gonna show you guys that with the skinny bars, we can actually test it using the thing. And again, I'm not getting a complete seal on that, so I'm gonna unplug that sensor. I'm gonna recalibrate it. And again, the smaller sensor I've used for really small pieces of gold, small like peso, oh, not that one, small pesos, things like this. And maybe we'll check the dos pesos out. All right, so let's fly this under here. Now you can see when I wasn't getting a complete seal, it was in the yellow, but now that I've slid it under, bang, right in the green. And with bars, you can check them with the weight. Excuse me, you go to rectangle, and what you do here is you space this out. So you're gonna put the bar in the corner here, just looking over the camera. You're gonna keep going like that till it lines up with the bar. And you see it's lined up with the bar perfectly here and here. And again, it's gently kissing. It's actually touching both lines, if you see there, if you see there, okay? So that's how you measure bars. And that's why you wanna keep the plastic on that thing and not have an epic fill like me. So let's plug in this wand and we'll check that small piece of gold, this dos pesos, and then I'm gonna check a few pieces of gold through the capsules on this so you guys can see that. Another thing I want to tell you about this sensor is the reason we can't, let's calibrate. The reason we can't check this here is because it's too small. The sample size must completely cover the black ring. Same here, the sample size must completely cover the black ring. And this one actually might be able to do it. Let me see what happens here. Let me see. And 1 second, I need to look at the percentage of gold on this. So this right here, I'm gonna have to look this up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's a dos pesos. Yeah, let me look at the percentage on this and we'll test that. All right, so I looked that up and it looks like it's gonna be 90% gold. You can see here this 90% gold with copper. I don't remember if it was copper, let's see. So obviously if I put it under this thing, it's gonna have a horrible reading. Well, first off too, we have the weight totally jacked here. Wow, dang it, I should have looked at the weight. All right, so I quickly checked and it looks like it's 1.7 grams. This is in troy ounces, so here's the cool thing, guys. What did I say, 1.7? So we're gonna change this to 0, okay? Go down here to grams, so you don't have to do the conversion. That's nice, huh? So this should be about 1.7 grams. Yes. How do I get out of here? Measure. Okay, that'll work. So 1.7 grams, but you can see here it's not getting a good reading because the sample has to completely cover the black ring. This gold coin might actually cover the complete black ring on here, so we'll test it both ways. I think that's barely covering. Now you can see it's saying this might be a little too thin. This might be a little too thin. So it looks like we're not completely covering the black ring on here, okay? So let's see what happened if we wanted to measure this. Look, it's so small. Okay, so that was not a good reading. So it doesn't mean it's fake. It just means we need to test it with the wand, which is what this is for. So remember, you must completely cover that black ring. So we're gonna test it like that. Bang, we're in the green. We can lift off, we can try again. Green, and we can even flip it, try again. Green, so there you go. Another cool thing, guys, this shows us right here the millimeters, just an easy way to measure, cool stuff. So that's an example of a piece of gold. That's too small for the sensors. I'm just placing this one back in its case. Now, what if we have a bunch of gold we just want to check quickly? So I'm just going to grab some Australian and Perth mint gold here, and the reason why is because I know it's pure. Okay. So this here is going to be 1/4 ounce. So we'll change these. Quiet on the set. So we're going to change this to 1/4 ounce. And you're going to see that we're going to be able to simply, is that this one? No, is that this one? We're going to be able to, oh, We can't check it on the sensor, it's too small. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop this out. That's the one thing when you're dealing with gold, guys. That's usually going to go in that small sensor, unless you have big gold coins. So you're going to take them out of these things. So you can see there, it's completely covering in the black. The black line is completely covering. You can see there, and you can see there right in the green. So we're good on that one. So let's check this one. This one is going to be $25. Is this a? This is also a 1/4 ounce. It can't fit again, so we're just going to dump this coin out. And it's an Australian. Bang! Look how nice that is. And actually, let's do a measurement with the gold so you can see. So if we measure that round, if you remember the other measurement was off when it couldn't get a good reading, but look, gently kissing both lines. So there you go. This is a genuine gold Australian kangaroo. It's 9999 gold. And it tested good. And then this is a Canadian buffalo. Look at that. And I got that on a deal from Provident. Don't worry, I didn't touch the gold. I was touching the edges. All right, let's go back here. And again, of course, it's gonna be able to read through cards. Let me take you over here back to silver. And we're gonna set this back to pure. And we're gonna put this weight here. I wanna show you one final thing. It's really nice with this. Slab coins, folks, not a problem. You just pop that slab right under there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now again, when you go to measure it, it's gonna be a pain if you wanted to measure it because it's in there. But actually, the slide one almost works because I can see here, the coin isn't 100% covered, so I can see the line there, and I can see the line there. But yeah, you can see. And one more thing, guys, when you measure, there's an indicator light here so you know how far back to go with the sample. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell, guys. I wanted to show you quickly about the Verifier Pro, how to actually use it. It took me a little while to figure out how to use this thing, but boy, has it made my life easier. The only downside to this thing is it does have about 15, maybe 12 coins pre-done, Krugerrand, these different things. Gold ducats or ducat, however you want to say it, and 80% Canadian. But I'd like to see a few more coins programmed into this. And then also, when you get, besides the coins, when you get to gold, the furthest down, the lowest you can go is 90%. So I wish you could go a bit lower with the gold. And then silver, you see there, that's the presets, which do pretty well. And I've never checked platinum, palladium, or rhodium, or copper on this thing. Actually, I think I checked copper once. I only have one copper round. Someone gave it to me. Anyways, guys, it's a rechargeable battery, and the battery lasts forever. That's the Sigma Metalytics Pro. I hope that thing wasn't out of focus for a while there on that. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, by all means, please ask me. I'll be happy to try to answer them the best I can. And I'm gonna, before one of the companies saw me talking about this, a reseller, so he put a coupon in my previous video. So I'm gonna go see if it's still good, and if so, I'll put that in the description below. But people ask me, where do you buy these things? Ladies and gentlemen, the best place is on eBay when two things happen. eBay, every once in a while, they do a 15% discount coupon. And then they also sometimes do up to a 10% eBay bucks. So when I bought this, a 15% coupon was on. So this was $1,400 and change when I bought it, and I got 15% off, so significant savings. And then one day later, eBay bucks, 10% came. So I could have gotten up to 25% off. So if you judge it right, you can get up to 25% off from $1,400, which is significant. I saved 15, but that was still significant. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. That in a nutshell is how this thing works. By all means, I'm not an expert with it yet, but I'm getting there, and I am not a expert with detecting fake metals, but this thing makes it so anyone can be an expert, which I love. The next step above this thing, guys, from everything I know, would be an X or F gun, and those things are quite expensive. I think they're like $10,000 or $15,000, and those are guns that you actually hold on to the metal, and it tells you the exact makeup of it. So that's the next level. So if you're looking not to spend $1 million on one of those guns, this thing is great. This thing helped me catch these 2 fakes. And if this saves you from buying 1 fake gold coin, if it helps you from buying 1 fake gold, it's fake. Look, 10%. If it helps you from doing that, it's paid for itself. And this thing is so small. I mean, look, it's half of my forearm. Or maybe completely my forearm if it's just my forearm. You can take this anywhere with you. All right, guys, well, I hope you liked it. Kind of a longer video than I wanted, but I wanted to show you a lot of detail. I've had a ton of questions, so hopefully you can get one too. And we can find all these fakes, most of them from China, and eliminate them from circulation. All right, guys, hope you liked it, and catch you on the next one.